I'm sure we'll go into great depth about your team selection for this week. But in terms of the injury front, how's Tom Opacek doing with that knock that he suffered to his hip?
Yeah, so he's still it's still causing him a bit of grief there. He's pulled up pretty sore. That's why we took him off. So he won't play this week.
Do you just anticipate him being out for just this weekend, or could it be longer than that at this point?
No, we obviously got to manage him the right way. So he didn't train with the squad today, but he we're hopeful that it'll be okay come next week to do full training again.
You brought Elliot Minchella off as well on Friday night, having to manage that neck injury. How's he doing? Will he be rested on Friday?
Yeah, he will. So it's ongoing with Minnie. It's one of those injuries that initially, as I told the press, which I got told by our medical team, was it's a 2 to 6 week injury. But because he's come back after that couple of weeks, it's going to be sort of ongoing. So he won't play this week, and he'll be okay for the week after. But it's one of those that he just needs to manage, and we need to manage him the best we can for the back end of the season.
Dean Hadley missed last week after being advised by specialists. Will he return just to blow the cobwebs off ahead of the Challenge Cup final?
Yeah, definitely. So Dean will play this week. Obviously had a couple of weeks off and needs to play, and obviously a game against Wigan will be perfect for him. So he'll be back in the team, which is a positive for us.
How's he doing at the moment? I would imagine he's chomping at the bit to get back.
Yeah, he was last week, to be honest. Disappointed that he couldn't play, but he's looking forward to it, ready to go, and he's trained well today, which is good.
Looking slightly further ahead, Ryan Hall, you said last week, is targeting a return for the Challenge Cup final. How is he doing at the moment in terms of his recovery?
Yeah, so that's going to be a slow process, and that's a decision that won't be made until the sort of back end of next week. There's no guarantees, but we're hopeful again that Hall will be able to play. I've said before, if anyone can play with this injury, it's him. If he doesn't play, it's certainly not ready to play. So we just got to manage it again and get him right, or the best he can be in be able to play. But there's no guarantees there.
In terms of the team front, it's being reported that you've signed Cesar Roger, Isaac Shaw, and Luke Thomas on 2-week loan deals. Can you confirm that's the case?
Yeah, that is the case. So we're bringing some players in this weekend to help with the bumps and bruises that we've got. Players that what I've seen of them, the two props especially, effort-based players that compete hard, and that's what we're going to have for this Friday night game. And Cesar is a half hooker from Catalans, probably more experienced out of the three, but looking forward to seeing what those three can do this week.
That's the thinking then, just giving you plenty of options so that you can shuffle the pack ahead of the Challenge Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a massive campaign. Like you look at guys like Reece Kennedy, Sam Luckley from our pack, George King. They've all played, pretty much every game, big minutes. And what happens then is you're carrying injury, you're carrying bumps and bruises. And it's, obviously an important game this week, but it's a very important game the week after as well. So we just got to manage the players the best we can. So that's what we've decided to bring these other guys in.
I know there's criticism or maybe questioning more from the outside in from the club about, why haven't academy players been included for this game? Do you just want to explain and reassure people as to why you've had to bring in 3 players rather than not to go for academy youngsters?
Yeah, we actually got three academy players that will make their debut this week. So one's Leo Tennyson, who's been through this part of our system. Louis Gorman is another one, and Lenny Ellis. So we're certainly we're giving opportunity to players within. We're certainly not going to just go give opportunity to another 5 or 6 players if they're not ready. Louis Gorman's a player that I've got high hopes for. He was actually part of the Ireland team just with the squad for a week or so last World Cup. He's played for Yorkshire, scored a try at the end there, and ever since he's been with us, with our full-time squad, it's been pretty much the sort of player and person that we want. He gives everything that he's got. He's all effort-based. He competes hard. So he's one that'll be playing. The other one's Lenny Ellis. Lenny's a player, similar values to Louis. Good person. Wants to do well in his career, and we're giving him an opportunity. He's played at halfback before, but we've moved him to hooker, so it's a new role to him. But what I've liked is how he's embraced that role and pretty much grabbing the opportunity, and he'll be rewarded this week. And the last one, Leo Tennyson, who is a player that probably had a slow start to the season, getting used to the environment, the full-time environment, but has got himself in good condition. Pretty much, mate, he played a game against FC a few weeks back. We got beaten in the reserve grade, but what I saw there was a player, a front rower that had aggression about him, and it just showed to me what the club meant to him. The way, the passion that he played in. So they'll be making their debut. So, I'm a coach that certainly wants to promote and develop within, but you need to earn that as well. And these players have certainly earned that.
How excited are you for those three to get that opportunity and as well to give them that experience ahead of hopefully playing a greater role within the squad next season?
Yeah, it's. I said to the players today, the two meetings that I've looked forward to the most was the first one when I arrived as coach. I was really excited to wake up that morning to get to training and meet the guys, and then the second one, is probably the most I've been excited for is being able to give three players a debut jersey. Announcing it today with the team meeting. It's a special time for those players, special time for their families, and it's we can't expect too much of them this week. All we expect is effort and compete hard. Technically, will they get everything right? Probably not, but that's not what they're there to do. They're there to wear the jersey with some pride, which they have, coming through the academy ranks and in reserve grade. And I know they'll do the club proud, and they'll do themselves proud, and they'll do their family proud.
Those three coming in, the three loan signings as well. You've said Tom Opacek and Elliot Mincello will be rested. How many players from the win over Cass do you expect to stay in the starting lineup? I know you won't want to reveal everything at this stage, but what are your thoughts at this stage of the week?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to definitely go with some youth there because like I said before, we've got a lot of guys carrying things, and they've done that for a while. We've had guys in key positions that have they've played long minutes. As I said, the props before. We need to have a look around our halves to see, who's available there in terms of what their body's like and mentality and that type of thing. So, we will be going with a team that are going to compete hard and they do their best on Friday. But naturally, we've got to be smart as well in the sense of we don't want to be pushing players who are carrying injuries and niggles and that type of thing.
When you talk to players such as in the halves or elsewhere who you're maybe deliberating about playing or not, how much do you talk to them and rely on their honesty about where they're at physically in order to inform your own decision?
Yeah, I mean, so we know where each player's at each week, obviously from post game and then training, and we know where they're at mentally, we know where they're at physically. So yeah, we've got a good hand on that. Obviously, communicate with players regularly around how they're feeling physically and mentally. The staff, especially the medical staff, are all over that. So we've got a good understanding of where they're at.
And how, for yourself, how do you square it as a head coach? There'll be a large part of you that wants to pick your best team to go out there and win with your playoff aspirations, but at the same time, you've got that big Challenge Cup final on the horizon. How are you squaring that with yourself at the moment?
Yeah, look, I mean, any game you play is important, and we're in a really important part of the Super League competition at the moment. But we're also challenging for a trophy that we haven't won for many years. So, as I say, you can play players that aren't 100% right at the moment, and then therefore they'll be worse the week after. Potentially, injure themselves even more, or there's always a risk whenever they take the field. So, as I said, look, we're going to put in a team this week that's going to go and compete hard and work hard for each other. Every game's important, and it's going to be a challenging game, definitely to play against Wigan at home, especially after what happened 2 weeks ago. But we're just going to go there and as I say, there's some guys getting an opportunity, and what that'll bring is enthusiasm and energy, and that's what we need this part of the season.
I was going to say on the flip side of things, how big an opportunity is this for some of your players coming in to stake a claim to play in that final if they manage to put in a really impressive performance that challenges your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. It's an opportunity for everyone. I think it's an opportunity for the young guys. It's an opportunity for the guys that potentially could play the week after. Um, it's a great opportunity, and to play against a team and a club like Wigan, there's no better opportunity. So if you go to Wigan on a Friday night and you play well, you're in a good position, and you've done a good job, because it's never easy to do. So it's an opportunity for everyone taking the field, and there'll be there's a reason for everyone to play. Obviously, two points, two valuable points, but also individuals, as I say, that will be either making their debut, or there'll be some players there that haven't played a great deal of first team, and there'll be some players there that have.
Before we move on to Wigan, I just wanted to ask quickly about Oliver Gildart, and apologies if you fielded any more questions about this on Friday night, but it was talked about during the height of your injury crisis about potentially bringing him in early. Did any discussions take place with the Dolphins about getting him in for this tail end of the season?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I was only aware of it the game day morning. It was the first I heard of it, and that was it. So pretty much we hadn't had any opportunity to sign Ollie. But I'm happy that he's playing. I want him to play. Obviously it's not with us this year, but he'll be certainly with us next year.
Have you had any communication with Oliver since you learned about his move to Leigh for the rest of the season?
No, I haven't. I'm not sure whether it's 100% finalised. So, as I say, he's not our player for this year. So, I don't. Yeah, is the deal done? I don't even know if it's finalised yet. Pretty much, I knew that was there was a possibility, and that it was going to get done, and that was it. So, we had a game that night to play, and we've got a game on Friday to play. So that's my focus.
Just finally on him, I know it's been ruled out that he can't play in the Challenge Cup final due to sort of rules around registration, but do you expect him to play in the Super League game between the two clubs at the end of August?
If he's a lead player, I can't see why not.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Willie. Moving on to Wigan, you're sort of setting up your own Ashes series with them at this point. Fourth game against them, could potentially meet in the playoffs. Which of the three previous games will be the best reference point for this upcoming clash, do you think?
To be honest, I think, and what we've spoken about, when you've got youth playing and guys that haven't played against Wigan before, I don't really want to sort of go into too much. We definitely previewed them this morning and had a look at them, but we don't want to go too much into them. When you're playing, as I say, playing Wigan on a Friday night over their place is always a difficult task. So for us, it's we're going to really narrow our focus this week to get areas of our game that we want to get right, and then if we do that, then it'll put us in good stead to have an opportunity in this game. So it's if you look too much into the past, there's going to be players. There's no secret. There's going to be a lot of players taking the field this week that haven't been part of those three games. It's probably a little bit different than it was.
I know there'll be a lot of players who obviously watched and were a part of the Challenge Cup semi-final win, and they'll maybe look to draw from that or try and look back on it. How do you almost remove the emotion from that particular win going into this game?
Again, mate, we've got a different mix there. So it's pretty much now just getting individuals ready to play. We've got three guys on debut. We've got three guys coming on loan. So there's six players there that haven't been part of these games before. So it's pretty much getting individuals right to go out and wear the jersey with pride, and that's our focus. Like, it's, as I say, mate, like, there's no secret that the team that we're playing is not the team that played 2 weeks ago. So individuals get an opportunity to go out and prove themselves, and collectively we've got an opportunity to go out and be KR again. Doesn't matter who wears our jersey. That's what we expect. So that's what we're focusing on, not so much about what we're going to do.
How wary are you of Wigan, given they inflicted a heavy defeat on Leigh Leopards and will obviously want revenge against what could be an inexperienced side?
Yeah, as I said before, I said it every time. I've got so much respect for Wigan. I was there as a player many years ago. I know what culture they've got there. They've got a strong culture. It's been the same for years and years. So there's a lot of respect I've got for the club. But as I say, mate, I'm really not thinking about the emotion that they're going to have, or how many games we've won compared to them this year. It's a different situation. It's a different game, but we'll certainly be going out and giving our best shot. There's no doubt about that.
And just finally for me, you want to get the win and the 2 points, but with the side that you look to be putting out, what will you want to try and take from this game?
Look, I just want us, the team that we put out to be us, to be KO. It's a something I've said all year, and I'm strong by that, because we know who we are as a team. If you know your identity as a team, and you play that way, you get results. So we've always said that. It can be cliche, but next man up, mentality. So it doesn't matter who wears the jersey. There's an expectation there to wear it in the way that we want to. And for me, if we have a team that goes out and we compete from minute 1 to minute 80 this week, I'll be a happy and proud coach. With the players that we've got available that are playing this week. So we've certainly got a plan in place. We've certainly looked at Wigan, but I think it's one of a game this week that we can hopefully go and make our fans proud of us to go, okay, well there's a young team there that's gone over to Wigan and they've given all they've got, and let's see where that takes us. So there's no pressure on the players to go out and do anything else but be themselves, but also live the whole KR way.
Thanks for your time, Willie.
Cheers, Ollie. Thanks, mate.
Hi, Willie. You all right, pal?
Yeah, good, Joe. Yourself?
Yeah, good to speak to you as always. How's Corey Hall doing? Has he recovered from that head knock in the Derby reserve game?
Yes, mate. Yeah, he'll be back this week, which is good.
Oh, perfect. That'll be good then. He's in contention to come back in then, yeah.
Yeah. He'll be in.
Wonderful. And then, of course, on Dean Adley, he's going to be one of the leaders, isn't he? We've spoke so much about him and how much you value him as a player, but this will be a big step for him, won't it? Because he's probably going to be the leader of that pack.
You're 100% right, mate. So we announced him. He's our captain for this week. Right. Which is a great reward for Dino. He's the perfect choice to captain the team. We talk about the KR way, the way his actions every day at training and what he does on the field. He's definitely earned the right to captain the team.
Yeah, them young lads who are coming in, I think if they're looking for an example of how to reach the Super League heights and the efforts that you pride yourselves on, he's probably the man that need to replicate.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. He got up and spoke to the boys this morning, and the beauty of that is when you get a leader like that gets up and talks about purely around the actions that he delivers every week. It's you have to listen, don't you? Because it's not just words. He'll do it through his actions, which he did at training straight after, and he'll do again on Friday night. So it's a good reward for Dino, that's for sure.
Perfect. Thanks, mate. See you on Friday.
Cheers, Joe. Thanks, mate.